Morning, Queensland. And good morning to all of our Facebook followers as well. So today we have 0 new locally acquired cases, which is fantastic news, but of course we'll be monitoring everything that's happening in Goondiwindi over the next few days just to see how that goes. We have 2 new overseas acquired cases, but they're in hotel quarantine, so no problems there. We've had 11,850 tests in the past 24 hours. That's great to see Queenslanders coming out and getting tested, but we've had 200 people tested at our truck stops along the border. But very good news, we've had 245 people in Goondiwindi come forward to get tested at the hospital, so that's great numbers out there. So now we have in Queensland 78.81% of Queenslanders have had at least 1 dose and 65.81% are fully vaccinated. But of course we want to see those vaccination rates continue. So overnight, Moree was removed from our border bubble. There are 33 cases in Moree and there could be even more announced today. So what we do know is that a large proportion of people who are being tested positive are unvaccinated. So that's a concern. And that's in addition to the 3 cases that were reported in Queensland yesterday. So as you noticed, last night we tightened the restrictions of people being allowed to cross the border, and those restrictions will be tightened even further today for essential purposes. So what I'd like to do is I've put a call in to Lawrence Springborg. I've asked my Chief of Staff to also try and contact him whilst I'm doing this press conference. We will try and get supplies to those communities in New South Wales rather than them having to cross to get supplies into Queensland. We'd like to put this in place for the next 7 days. It's really important to make sure that we ensure the safety of those townships across our Queensland border. So I think people will understand that, and it's the right thing to do at this particular point in time. Okay, so they'll be in place for the next 7 days. Now also for the residents in Goondiwindi, and the Acting Chief Health Officer, Dr Aiken, will talk about this in a moment, that over the weekend we will be putting in restrictions for aged care and hospitals. So there'll be no visitors just for the weekend, and there'll be some additional PPE requirements for hospital staff, but I'll let the doctor talk about that. Okay, so that's fantastic news. Now this weekend is of course Queenslanders' opportunity to come out and get vaccinated. So there'll be 25 Bunnings pop-up clinics will operate this weekend. So please look at the website and social media and media outlets as to where you can go to your Bunnings to get vaccinated. And of course nearly 8,000 were vaccinated at our last Bunnings weekend. So we want to try and do that again as well. So if you have not been vaccinated, you need to come. Now what's going to happen is when the borders open, we will be seeing hundreds of cases, and what we're seeing in Goondiwindi is a prime example of a highly vaccinated community and the virus hunting you down if you are unvaccinated. As I said, there's this window of opportunity, and it is really important that Queenslanders come forward and get vaccinated. The sooner we can reach those threshold targets, the sooner loved ones will be reunited with family and friends. I know how important this is for families across Queensland, so please don't hesitate, come forward and get vaccinated. Now, National Cabinet is also on today, so I'll look forward to those discussions. I don't want to preempt discussions there, but some really important issues, of course, will be raised. That is the schedule planned for the booster shots. So for those people who have already had their 2 doses, it will be coming up time to get a booster shot after 6 months. We'll be looking at that plan.